Every day, millions of Americans step onto the street without a second thought. They walk, bike, or just try to cross the road. But behind the ordinary lies a quiet danger. Streets in the US may look safe, but they're not built for safety. Across the Atlantic, it's a different story. Europe is home to some of the safest streets in the world. Some countries report fewer than 15 road deaths per million people. That's not luck, that's design. After World War II, both Europe and the US embraced the car. But then came the oil crisis. Suddenly, gas prices surged, and so did a critical question. Do we build for cars or for people? The US chose more highways, Europe chose something else. In places like the Netherlands, parents took to the streets after tragic child fatalities. Their voices sparked a revolution, one that reshaped entire cities. Today, I'm gonna take you on a journey through the heart of this revolution. You and I are gonna walk the streets of Amsterdam, study what makes them tick, and uncover how they can help solve one of America's biggest problems. Okay, let's go for a walk. Now, these streets weren't designed by committee. They evolved organically from the needs and desires of the people who live, work, and play here. We all know what it's like to navigate city streets, but how do you design them? How do you balance the needs of cars, bikes, and pedestrians? Well, here's the first thing you'll notice. European streets are layered like systems. Trams, or trams depending on where you're from, typically run in the center. Then come the cars, also in the center, but on either side of the trams. And surrounding the cars are bikes and pedestrians with their own dedicated lanes. Each user knows exactly where they belong. In contrast, American streets prioritize speed and flow. Multiple lanes for cars and wide shoulders for bikes if you're lucky. Pedestrians often find themselves on narrow sidewalks or worse, sharing the road with cars, bikes, and sometimes even trams. This lack of clear hierarchy leads to confusion, potential conflicts, and tragically, preventable accidents. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, what about the freedom to drive wherever I want? Well, that's a fair point. But remember, freedom comes with responsibility. When everyone drives everywhere, the streets become a chaotic free-for-all rather than a shared resource. Next up, let's talk about roads. They're literally the infrastructure of guidance. The way a road is built tells you how to behave. Take these narrow lanes. They automatically slow you down without a sign. That's right, no sign. Or consider these raised crosswalks. They force drivers to notice pedestrians. It's design that speaks without yelling. On the other hand, American roads often feature wide lanes and unmarked crosswalks, which encourages speeding and inattentive driving. The absence of guidance leads to uncertainty and potential danger for everyone. But wait, there's more. What if you could design a street that anticipates your needs before you even reach it? Enter Advanced Short-Time Memory Asphalt, or ASTM for short. This innovative technology uses sensors embedded in the pavement to detect and respond to real-time conditions. For instance, when it starts raining, ASTM can activate heating elements within the asphalt to melt the ice, preventing dangerous slips. Or if there's a car accident, the system can reroute traffic to avoid congestion and potential hazards. This smart material adapts to changing conditions, enhancing safety and efficiency. And yes, it works on bikes too. Imagine a bike path that adjusts its surface texture based on weather conditions. When it's dry, the surface provides a smooth, efficient ride. But when it's wet, the path automatically becomes textured to enhance grip, reducing the risk of skidding. Isn't that ingenious? Let's pedal a bit further into the streets of Amsterdam. Here's a sight you don't see every day. Drivers yielding to pedestrians at a junction. This is standard practice in Amsterdam. Pedestrians always have the right of way at junctions, which ensures they can safely navigate the streets. It's a small but significant detail that contributes to the city's overall livability. But the real magic happens at intersections. Roads tell you how to behave. Intersections tell you who has the right of way. In many American cities, intersections are confusing free-for-alls. Who goes first? Who yields? The rules are unclear, leading to uncertainty and potential accidents. In contrast, the Dutch used the two-stage intersection to ensure clarity and safety. In the first stage, pedestrians and cyclists enter the intersection, followed by cars. This staged approach minimizes the chance of conflict between vehicles and vulnerable road users, enhancing safety for everyone. Okay, now let's take a closer look at those bike lanes. We've talked about their importance, but let's compare how they're designed in the US and the Netherlands. In the US, a bike lane is often just a painted line on the road which sends a clear message to cyclists and drivers alike. You're on your own. In the Netherlands, bike paths are separated from traffic, protected from turning vehicles, and thoughtfully curved. They even bend outward at intersections, not just for aesthetics, but for visibility. This outward bend forces eye contact between drivers and cyclists. No guessing, no surprises, no tragedy. What's more, these protected bike lanes utilize a flexible delineator system. These posts are easily adjustable, allowing for variations in width and curvature, adapting to the needs of the cyclist. Okay, now let's talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart: parking. In many American cities, parking is practically free, which encourages drivers to claim as much space as possible. Not only does this reduce the capacity of the street for other uses, but it also creates a hostile environment for pedestrians. In contrast, the Netherlands employs a tiered parking system. Especially in city centers, the cost of parking increases the closer you get to the center. This pricing structure discourages unnecessary driving and incentivizes people to park further away and use alternative modes of transportation. Hey, remember that small detail we mentioned earlier? Drivers yielding to pedestrians at junctions? Well, it's not just a courtesy. It's backed by law. In Amsterdam, there's a legal obligation for cars to stop and yield to pedestrians at junctions, ensuring their safety and smooth traffic flow. This raises a crucial question: what makes these European streets so successful? Is it just about the infrastructure, or is there something more? Actually, it's both. Infrastructure and culture. In Europe, there's a strong emphasis on walkability and public transportation. The goal is to make it as convenient and pleasant as possible for people to walk or cycle, while driving is often seen as an inconvenience to be endured. This cultural shift is reflected in the design and engineering of the streets themselves. Walkability isn't just an amenity, it's infrastructure. It's intentionally built into the fabric of the city. Well, our walk through the streets of Amsterdam has come to an end, but the lessons we've learned apply to any city. Small changes in design can lead to big improvements in safety and quality of life. And you know what? These changes aren't just theoretical. They're happening in cities across the United States. New York turned Times Square into a plaza. San Francisco lowered speeds and raised crossings. Boston cut parking mandates. These aren't cosmetic tweaks. They're statements. Streets don't have to be dangerous. Cities don't have to be built around cars. The streets of Amsterdam and other European cities demonstrate that safety isn't just about reducing harm. It's about designing environments that nurture life, encourage human connection, and celebrate the joy of simply being alive. They show us that it's possible to create spaces where people and vehicles coexist not in conflict, but in harmony. So the next time you find yourself on a street, whether in Amsterdam or your own city, take a moment to appreciate the design around you. Remember, every street is a story waiting to be understood. Every intersection, every bike lane, every pedestrian crossing, they all narrate a city's values, its priorities, and its vision for the future. Do you want a city that revolves around the convenience of driving, or one that prioritizes the well-being and happiness of its residents? The choice is ours. The streets are ours. Let's make them a reflection of the kind of world we want to live in. That was a look at the streets of Amsterdam and how their design can help solve one of America's biggest problems. If you enjoyed this video, check out another.